Your Daily 180, 180 seconds of pure Bible study.
Well, we're ready to start John chapter 3. I hope you've been joining along with us and participating in this study. If you're just joining us, this year we're going through the Gospel of John 3 minutes a day. Let me encourage you, go ahead and take time to read the Gospel of John. Today we're starting in John chapter 3. Let me remind you of a couple of things that I think are really, really important as we come to John chapter 3. Number one, there are two developing storylines within the Gospel of John. Number one, there's the development of belief, and we'll begin to see that in a unique way when we come to chapter 3, and we'll see it again in chapter 4. I believe chapter 3 and chapter 4 are very significant in the type of people who are coming to believe. And then secondly, there's the development of disbelief. All right, so belief in what? The Gospel of John assumes the humanity of Jesus and sets forth to prove his deity, or in other words, that he's not just a man, he's a God-man. Now, it's interesting, just a footnote, 1 John is just the opposite. 1 John assumes that he is deity, but it sets forth to prove his humanity. Now, let's read John chapter 3 and the first 5 verses here. There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. This man came to Jesus by night and said to him, Rabbi, we know you are a teacher come from God. No one can do these signs that you do unless God is with him. Jesus answered and said to him, Most assuredly I say to you, unless one is born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Nicodemus said to him, How can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter a second time into his mother's womb and be born? Jesus answered, Most assuredly I say to you, unless one is born of water and the Spirit, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Now, tomorrow, as we begin to do a deep dive into this text, one of the things I want us to see is this man is a very unlikely candidate. He is among the religious elites. Interestingly, as I mentioned a moment ago, chapter 4 is kind of similar, except they're opposite characters. There's a woman who comes to belief, and she's a very unlikely candidate because of past problems in her life. She's the opposite of the religious elite. But both groups, the religious elite and the religious outsiders, need Jesus. And Jesus is the answer to both groups. Join us again tomorrow for your Daily 180.